right, good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to join us. We are really excited to have so many of you here. We usually do this just online, but we thought that this year, with a brand new camp, it might be nice to have an in-person venue, and then obviously we are having this recorded to send out to anybody who misses the presentation. For the last couple years, we've been on a search for a new camp that met all of our needs. And after several visits, Camp Mishindo did that. And we are lucky enough today to have the director of the camp with us, and I'm going to have him start off. He actually presented to all of the students this morning at Heritage. So he has been in town since 8:30 a.m. So we're gonna let him go and present and get him off on his way back to Hillsdale. And then the rest of our team up here will continue on with the presentation. So without further ado, this is Bear from Camp Mishindo.
Thank you so much. Oh, look around. Whoa, that's great. Yeah, you don't even know me yet. So yeah, my name is Bear. It's actually Terry Bear, but when I started at camp, I grew up in southeastern Ohio. So when I came up to camp, I always called my buddy, his last name was Shaw, and he always just called me Bear, even though he knew he was saying Bayer. It came out as Bear. So then it just became a nickname, and that got started back in '91 when I started at Mishindo with the outdoor education program. Worked for several years there, left, went to teach in Toledo Public Schools, became their director. So I was in an office signing POs and bus requests, the opposite of what I went to school for. So I've been back at Mishindo now since 2008, which I love Mishindo. A little bit about Mishindo. Mishindo is located in the tri-state area. So we're right there. The MICH is for Michigan. The IND is for Indiana, and then the OH is for Ohio. That's great. All the parents are like, oh, okay, I thought it was a Native American tribe. Okay, no, just a play on that tri-state area right in there. Now, it always throws people for a loop because I talk about Camp Mishindo, and then I also, on my shirt and on the video, it will say Mishindo Outdoor Education School. And that always throws people there like, okay, wait. I thought they were going to camp, not going to a school. Let me explain why we call it a school. 3 reasons. Number 1 is this is going to be an extension of their curriculum. So the teachers are going to pick classes that are going to complement what they're doing back at school. I gave your children the example today of maybe there's a unit on reptiles and amphibians, and they're learning about the turtles and lizards, and that snakes have smooth scales, and that's really cool. But we all know that the word smooth and what smooth feels like is a relative term. So we're gonna go to the nature center when we get at camp, and we're gonna get out the lizards, we're gonna get out the turtles, we're gonna get out the snakes, so we can actually see what smooth looks like in person. We can maybe touch it, we can maybe hold it, we can maybe put it in our pocket, take it home to mom. No, we wouldn't do that. However, and I told your children today also that I nor any of my staff would ever make a child do something they feel uncomfortable doing. Do we ask them to step out of their comfort zone? 100%. But do we force them into the panic zone? No way. We want them in the learning zone. And in order to get into the learning zone, you actually have to step out of your comfort zone. But if you get pushed too far, then you're in the panic zone and there's no learning going on. So number 1 reason, extension of their curriculum. Number 2 is I took a poll to all of all of your children, and I said, ladies, I'll start with you. And I said, I don't believe that there are any ladies in here that have 9 to 10 other sisters that they live with in a cabin in the middle of the woods. No takers. I asked the guys, gentlemen, I don't believe that any of you have 9 to 10 other brothers that you live with in a cabin in the middle of the woods. Yeah, hands started going up, and I know parents are like, yeah, okay, so you met my son. Yeah, and I said, okay, guys, that doesn't happen. You don't have 9 to 10 brothers that you live with in a cabin in the middle of the woods. So this is gonna be a big curve of discovery. Okay, realizing that they can't just walk in the middle of the cabin, kick off their shoes and be like, hey, this is where I live. No, this is where we all live. See this bed in this area over here? That's where you live, but this is where we all dwell together. So there's a lot of cooperative living going on and learning what it takes and discovering what it takes to make that process happen. They do it at school. for their 6 to 7 hours while they're there. Now it's going to be 3 days. So number one, extension of their curriculum. Number two, cooperatively living and learning together, like they do at school. And then the third one is goal setting. And I gave your students, I'll give you just the same example, it's a real simple one, of we have a 30-foot indoor rock climbing wall. And the first thing that we do, we go through all the safety procedures. They get a harness on, I get a harness on, I get a helmet on, they get a helmet on, and we're hooked by the rope through a belay device. That's what it allows me to lower them once they climb. I feed that through, that lowers them on the wall. But before we even start there, I say, what's your goal? And some kids that come up, they're super excited. They're like, Bear, man, I'm going to the top. I'm like, that's your goal? My goal is to go to the top. I'm like, man, that is a great goal. You're on belay, begin to climb. And some kids come up and they're like, I'm a little scared of heights. And I'm like, that's okay, I'm actually a little scared of heights. I'm gonna go halfway. Halfway, that's your goal? That's my goal. Hey man, that's a great goal. You're on belay, begin to climb. And then every once in a while, a student comes up, usually they're the ones that they make their way to the end of the line somehow, and then they come up and I'm like, hey, what's your goal? And they're like, I don't know, man. I'm like, come on, you gotta have a goal. My goal is to stay on the ground. And I'm like, okay, that's a great goal. Staying on the ground, that's great, but you've already completed it. What if you took one step up? And they always look at me like I'm speaking a different language, like I'm from somewhere else. And they're like, oh, what? And I was like, just take one step up. That could be your goal. That's a goal. If that's your goal, that's my goal. All right, that's a great goal. You're on belay. And then they take a step up. And every once in a while, I've seen kids, they will go over halfway up the wall. They took that one step. And they look back at me and I'm like, you want to go a little higher? You want to come down? They're like, all right, one more step. One more step. One more, okay, now I'm ready to come down. But they were able to once again step out of that comfort zone and had that experience right there in a safe environment at camp while they're there doing that with their friends, with their classmates, and their teachers, which will also be there. And the indoor experience is that gain knowledge, extending that curriculum. So that's the outdoor education in school. So Camp Machindo. Camp Machindo, I can send you home at the end of this because I guarantee we're gonna be out of here by 8 o'clock, no worries. We're just kidding. Some people are like, okay, I'm leaving now. So what's gonna happen is I can send you home and you can pack, you don't have to leave any place other than your home. They don't need any extravagant supplies for camp. In one hand, they're gonna have a sleeping bag or a bedroll. In the other hand, they're gonna have their suitcase or their duffel bag. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab their sleeping bag. If you don't have a sleeping bag, you go to the bed, take their sheets, kind of tri-fold that, roll that up with their pillow. You're gonna put that into a clean garbage bag. You're gonna I'm gonna stop right there, I apologize. I know, as adults, that when I say garbage bag, you automatically know clean garbage bag. When I said to your children, take your bedroll and put it in a garbage bag, ew. I'm like, no, clean garbage bag. I had to preface that for 5th graders. So we're gonna take that, put that into a garbage bag. Now, you know your 5th grader better than I do. Okay, so chances are, they're probably gonna get to camp and they're gonna be so excited, they're gonna shred that bag open with no hope of using it again later on in the week. Or actually, maybe you have the 5th grader that goes, ooh, I'm gonna have to, because we know the 5th graders think ahead. Ooh, I'm gonna have to reuse this, so I'm gonna fold it up gently. Okay, yeah, I just saw all these parents go, does he even know children? Does he even work with kids? So yeah, put an extra one in there. I don't know, maybe they'll lose it during the week. I don't know, it's your child, not mine, but give them a fighting chance. So put an extra bag in there. That's in one hand. Oh, you gotta mark that, you gotta make that unique. Put some stickers on it, put a ribbon on that, put some duct tape on it, something, so that when they get off that bus, because panic will ensue when they get off the bus and see 200 garbage bags in a sea, and they're like, where's my Pikachu? Okay, so yeah, make sure that they can find it easily. In the other hand, here we go, we're gonna pop open the suitcase. We're gonna put in there what my mom would call, she always called it my play clothing. When I would get home from school, okay, change into your play clothing if you're going outside. Okay, because I don't want to, because when they get home from camp, yeah, you're gonna open that up and you're gonna pull out there and you're gonna, what in the world? Oh my, okay, it was so cool. So we were playing capture the flag, and we call it capture the fish because it's a big fish that we hide. We don't hide flags. But anyhow, I want them fully immersed in camp. I want that if we're building shelter and I'm moving a log around, I'm gonna be like, hey, come here, help me move this log. And they're like, oh, I can't get dirty. You gonna watch? Yeah. Well, then stay home, save your money. I want them immersed in camp. I want them doing hands-on discovery. That's what we want happening while they're at camp. So put in those play clothing, pack accordingly to what the weather is going to be here. It's very similar. We're only a little over an hour and 15 minutes southwest of you guys, so very, very similar weather. Or just look at Hillsdale, the Weather Channel there, type in Hillsdale, Michigan, and you'll see that weather report. We are outside, rain or shine. So you're definitely going to want to put in a poncho or a rain jacket in there. Now, if it's monsoon weather and it's coming down thunder and lightning, of course, yeah, we're going inside for safety reasons. But if it's a light drizzle and kids are like, oh, I'm getting wet, I'm like, where's your rain jacket? Oh no. So yeah, we want them to have something like that, and put in their pajamas, whatever they're used to sleeping in at night, and then definitely those extra, maybe an extra change of socks as well. Definitely 2 pair of shoes. If they have a pair of boots, throw those in there. But if they're walking around, they step in a puddle, and then they're walking around there all wet all day. No, I don't. No. Well, I'm going to send them back to their cabin with their cabin leaders in their cabin. Change out of those wet shoes, those wet socks. Put on some dry socks, dry shoes, and enjoy the rest of the day. They will need a towel for showering. Putting towel and shower together. I got ahead of myself. Just let it slide. You got to work on speech. So you're going to have that towel for showering either in the morning or in the evening, and they'll hang it up to dry for the following time. They will probably need assistance making a little shower kit or a little toiletry bag, things that they use every day, their toothbrush, that you never have to remind them to use. Toothbrush, toothpaste, soap, deodorant, all of that, throw that in there. They are private shower stalls. You should have seen the relief on your children's faces when I said that. They were like, oh, they were just so happy when I mentioned that. And at that point in time, they're really done. Now, there's optional equipment, and you guys will get a list of some of the optional stuff, of the packing list. Optional things like a water bottle, maybe chapstick, disposable camera. Disposable cameras are great. I think they were probably invented by someone who worked at a camp. Because I've seen them fall off the top bunk, boom, flash goes off. You got a great picture of the floor, but more importantly, they still have their camera intact. However, it was a week right after camp, things just started opening up. This was right after COVID. We had our first week of camp. I'm out there in the lobby. I'm talking to my staff. I see a kid come over, and he throws someone's camera away. And I'm like, Trevor. He's like, wait, me? I was like, yeah, is it Trevor? He's like, it's Travis. I was like, hey, well, come here, buddy. Sorry, I got your name wrong. But whose camera did you just throw away? He goes, oh, that's my camera. And I was like, why'd you throw it away? Oh, my mom it's a disposable camera. And when we get home from camp, we're gonna go to Walgreens to get the pictures from camp. Oh, I see. Okay, let's get that camera out of there. No, Bear, I just said, here, just please, do me a favor, just put it in your bag. So, I never thought you had to explain that to children, but now with Bluetooth and everything going through Wi-Fi and all of that, you actually do have to explain, this is disposable, but they will throw it away, not you. So bring it back to me with your pictures. They will be in there, I guarantee. They do not need any camping gear. They don't need it. They don't need, the little Swiss Army knife or anything like that. Don't send them with any provisions of any kind. We had a kid, he comes up to me because I said, if you have any candy gum or munchies, please turn those in. He comes up, he's got a bag, he's got 3 cans of tuna fish and a bag of beef jerky. My dad gave this to me in case I get lost in the woods. Okay, well, I know for a fact you're not gonna get lost in the woods because it's not that type of camp. So I'll hold on to this. I'll give it back to you at the appropriate time when you're getting ready to leave for camp. Do not send them with any first aid equipment. I do not want to see fifth graders doing triage on other fifth graders. Walk by a cabin. Well, my uncle said that if we hold them down and, okay, no, we have healthcare professionals there, and they will take care of your child if they become ill or injured while they're there at Meshindo. They do not need any money. There's nothing for them to buy. I know this for a fact because I live there, and I've lived there since 2008. There's nothing to buy for the children. So do not send them with any money. They do not need their electronics. Leave their cell phones at home, their Switch at home. We're gonna handle emergencies just like the school would. So if you would need to get a hold of your child, if it was a dire emergency, you would call the office. The office would then get a hold of your teachers, their teachers, and then their teacher would give them the message at the appropriate time. That's the exact same way it works at camp. If you call into camp, well, right now they put you through Bethany. She's the associate director on call right now because I'm off doing visits. But I'll be at camp when your child is there. And when it goes through, they will put it right through to my cell phone, goes right in. I get in touch with the teachers. We know exactly where every single child is at camp at any given moment because they follow a schedule just like they do at school. And then we give them that message at the appropriate time. I was walking by a cabin one time, and some kids, they're outside of their cabin with their cabin leader. They're like, "Hey, Bear, you want to play?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'll play. What are we playing?" And I'll walk over. I got like this. We're playing kick the stick, and I'm like, "Okay, that's great. How do you play kick the stick?" They're like, "We don't know. We've got 2 rules so far. We think we need a couple more." And it just dawned on me at that very moment that if that child would have had a cell phone, would have had a screen, that they would have all been into that cabin with their face in that screen, and kick the stick would have never been invented. But they were out there doing that, having fun, being kids, and that's really cool for them to have that experience. The last thing I want to talk about, and then we're going to show the video, is they do not need any type of candy, gum, or munchies. I kind of mentioned that. The video will mention that as well. They are well fed, a breakfast, lunch, dinner, all you can eat buffet, and an evening snack. And let me just run through, because I know what you're thinking. You're like, camp food, ooh, all you can eat possum stew. I can't wait. So this morning, I read the menu. Wasn't able to get in there in time. I was running a little late, but I read the menu, so I have it memorized. There were sliced oranges, there were bananas. Right after that, it was vanilla yogurt and then blueberry. That'll change tomorrow morning. Maybe it'll be like strawberry and banana. I don't know. I didn't check tomorrow mornings. And then right after that, it's donut holes. So we have just an array of different donut holes, but there is portion control as well. So it's all you can eat. But we ask that you just get 2 each time through, so you don't build like a pyramid of Giza out of donut holes and take that back to your table. Look, just feast. We'll feast in little parcels. And then right after that, there was oatmeal. That was a hot cereal for today. Then it was scrambled eggs. Right after scrambled eggs, they had the little potato triangle hash browns. Then they had bacon. Then after that, we have just an array of different types of cereal. It comes in the little bowls. So we have Trix, there's Fruit Loops, there's Cocoa Puffs, Lucky Charms, Chex, Frosted Flakes, Cheerios. It just goes on and on. The table is just covered. And then behind that is where we have our toaster. So if kids want to make toast, or if they want to toast up a bagel or an English muffin, and we have cream cheese and jelly, then they can do that as well. I say all of that so that you know your child will be well fed when they're taken care of. There was one mistake in the video that we noticed post-production, and there's a girl on a golf cart, and she's sitting there on a golf cart, and she says, no medication, no Band-Aids, no cough drops, or first aid supplies of any kind. And she gives a little thumbs up, and then she jumps off screen, off the golf cart. What she was supposed to say, and we didn't catch it, was of any kind in your cabin. So if you hear that medication part, you're gonna go, oh, snap, no, they can't go because they have to have, it's all right. We just keep it on us. We keep it in our health office to make sure that they're getting it and it wasn't just left in their cabin. So we'll show the video at this time, and then I'll come back up here, talk a little bit about how to properly package medication, and then if you guys have any questions, we'll go from there. Thank you.
Mishindo Outdoor Education School is located in Hillsdale, Michigan. Situated on 250 forested acres containing streams, wetlands, and a 25-acre spring-fed lake which is utilized year-round. Mishindo's programs and facilities provide the perfect place and opportunity to explore nature and learn about ourselves and others. Upon arriving, students are greeted by a full-time resident staff of dedicated instructors. Each has been selected because of their commitment to outdoor education and are trained to instruct in science, recreational activities, cultural histories, and team-building experiences. The staff and school teachers work as a team. Together they strive to provide the best possible environment for each individual student and the group as a whole. After meeting the Mishindo staff and unloading the buses, students are given their cabin assignments. These assignments are arranged by your own school teachers, and each cabin group has a cabin leader chosen by your school. The cabin leaders arrive the previous day and are trained by the Mishindo staff and ready for the arrival of students. They live in the cabins with the students and take them from one activity to the next, all while participating with the students and being part of the camp experience. The students then pick up their luggage and move into their cabins. The cabins are divided into two areas, one for the boys and one for the girls. Each cabin has 12 to 14 bunks, carpeted floors, heat, electrical outlets, and its own indoor bathroom complete with private shower stalls. After moving into the cabins, students meet together for a quick orientation to explain the rules and expectations for the week. Students are responsible for their own behavior. All of the normal school rules are still in effect, plus a few additional ones, to ensure a safe and enjoyable learning experience for everyone.
No threatening.
No fighting.
No disrespecting.
Your cabin is your home for this week. Only the people who live in your home are allowed in your home.
You must stay with your group at all times and obey your leader.
Do not bring candy, gum, or munchies to camp.
Because you do not want to attract unwanted critters to your cabin.
No medication, no Band-Aids, no cough drops, and no first aid supplies of any kind.
All medications are turned in upon arrival and then distributed by Mishindo's resident health officer according to the information provided by the student's health form. Mishindo's well-equipped health center, staffed by the health officer, is open 24 hours a day. If any major emergencies occur, the Hillsdale Community Health Center is only 5 miles away. Your school teacher or representative will be informed of any health problems or concerns regarding their students. After orientation, students go on a quick walking tour of the grounds so they will know where the important things are, like the dining room, gym, nature center, health office, and flagpole meeting area. A day of outdoor education begins at 6:30 a.m. Each of the cabin leaders has an alarm clock and will wake up the students. They will have 1 hour to get up, get ready, and get the cabins cleaned. Cleaning the cabins includes sweeping the floor, making the beds, putting belongings in their place, wiping sinks and mirrors, and turning out the lights. At 7:30, all of the campers will meet at the flagpole. One cabin will have the rotating responsibility of raising the flag. Because the local weather can vary greatly from one day to the next, and because this is outdoor education, students are required to bring plenty of warm clothes, rain gear such as a poncho or coat, 2 pairs of shoes, and preferably a pair of boots. Lots of layers and changes of dry clothing are important so that everyone will be comfortable and able to participate in all of the daily activities. Also during flag raising, another group will go to the dining room to set tables for the meal. They will have 15 minutes to get tables ready by 7:45 when everyone arrives for breakfast. There is no assigned seating for any meals. The service is buffet style. Meals are an excellent opportunity to encourage good social skills and manners by using the words please and thank you. Students are allowed to eat as much as they would like, but do not have to eat foods they do not like. Healthy menus are geared toward 5th and 6th graders with plenty of variety so that everyone can find something they like to eat. Cold cereal is always available at breakfast, and the fruit and salad bar is always available at lunch and dinner. At the end of each meal, students are responsible to clear their own tables. Students then attend classes previously selected by their teachers until lunch at 11:45, and then again after lunch. The classes the students attend are not typical school classes. Some of these classes might include aquatic life, reptiles and amphibians, creepy critters, flow challenge course, a team building activity, wild mammals, outdoor living skills, where you can build a shelter and a one-match fire, tie-dye, Michigan Settlers, a role-playing class where you learn what was needed to settle in as a family in a new territory, or Pioneer Craft Fair and Living History, a hands-on experience to life in the Michigan Territory in 1835. When all these classes are over for the day, it's afternoon activity time, where each student can choose from a variety of supervised activities to participate in. Some might enjoy an indoor activity such as dodgeball, crafts, basketball, handball, or for the more adventuresome, climbing the 30-foot rock climbing wall. If an indoor activity does not appeal to the student, seasonal outdoor activities might include an organized large group game, such as Gold Rush or Capture the Fish, archery, sledding, fishing, nature art, and many others. At 5 o'clock, it's time to prepare for dinner. Students are given 15 minutes to clean up and meet at the flagpole for flag lowering at 5:15. Afterwards, everyone heads to the dining room for dinner. Each night after dinner, the staff will have a different evening program planned. It might be a night hike where students will learn about nocturnal animals or possibly stars in the night sky. A campfire where they will sing fun songs and tell stories. A game of Wolf Pack where you act as a pack of wolves to find the missing wolf. The Wacky Olympics are a blast, completing the different activities. Or a skit night where students and staff join together to provide entertainment for each other. Or a square dance. But whatever activities planned, the students are sure to have a good time. An evening snack is also included as part of the night's activities. At 9 p.m., students head back to the cabins to shower and prepare for bed. Lights out is at 10 p.m. to ensure a good night's sleep before another full day of activities. As students depart Mishindo, it is our hope that each student has learned something new, made new friends, gained a new respect for nature, and a new appreciation for themselves and others. Mishindo Outdoor Education School offers students a unique, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to experience real learning in the classroom of the outdoors.
All right, great. Well, that gives you a little view of, I'm gonna see if I can, if you wanna cancel, otherwise we can know about world peace, that's good. So hey, that's a little opportunity of some of the things that they're gonna get to experience while they're there at Mishindo, because I haven't talked with the teachers about exactly what classes or afternoon activities and evening programs they'll be doing. We weren't able to cater a program specifically for them, but it gives them an idea of what they're gonna experience while they are there at Mishindo. All right, a little bit about medication, and I also want to talk a little bit about allergies. So first of all, any medication that your child takes on a regularly scheduled basis, whether that's for asthma, allergies, vitamins, whatever that may be, you're gonna send that to camp in the bottle, in the package that you purchased it in. Now, at the pharmacy, they give you that little amber colored bottle. Your child's name is already on that. They do that for you. Get out their little tiny typewriter, put that on there. You're gonna take that bottle with their name on it, put that into a bag, seal that bag, and then write their name on the bag. The Monday that they leave for camp, the teachers will have a box and they'll collect all of that medication. They are the ones, they will be responsible for transporting that up to camp. Now, let's say it's vitamins. Your child's name isn't Flintstones, so you're gonna take that bottle, you're gonna get a Sharpie, you're gonna write their name right on it. I know it sounds kind of sketch, but you're gonna do it. You're gonna write their name right on that, take it, put it in that bag, put the name on the bag, seal it. We can have multiple bottles in the same bag, but it must be in that package. If it's just, you put in, you get one of those little pill holders, and you're like, all right, this is for Tuesday and this is for Wednesday, and I'm like, hey, what's this? And they're like, it's my vitamins, and I'm like, yeah, I have no idea what that is. Here's where we might get into an issue, though. So let's say, first of all, if it's like a rescue inhaler, diabetic testing kit, EpiPen that they carry with them, they'll carry that with them. Don't put that in a bag and then in a box. But let's say the doctor says, hey, I want them taking 500 milligrams of ibuprofen twice a day. And the doctor tells you that, and you're like, okay. You go to Meijer, Walgreens, wherever, you buy the ibuprofen, you take it, you write their name on it, you put it in a bag, you write their name on the bag, you send it to camp, and then you get a phone call from me, and you're like, Bear, we did exactly what you asked. And I said, here's the situation. On the bottle, it says, children 12 years of age or younger, consult a physician. But we did consult a physician. But I don't know that nor do my health officers know that. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna buy that ibuprofen, you're gonna put that in a bag, and then you're gonna take the doctor's script and put that in there as well, so that we know, because a doctor can override those orders on the back, but we cannot. We cannot. Melatonin. Adults take one gummy 1 hour before bedtime. Oh, we can't send it, but that's what the doctor told me to do. You gotta get that script. You gotta get a doctor's note so that we know that was actually a doctor's order. All right. Last thing on that health form that you're gonna deal with is if your child has any food allergies, gluten-free, celiac, lactose intolerant, allergic to eggs, allergic to soy, whatever that may, vegetarian, vegan, whatever that may be, you're gonna put that on the health form, because we will then have alternatives for them. Because if we don't know that there's students that are gluten-free or celiac or etc., then we won't be making those extra items. We won't make those options. So if we're having chicken nuggets and then or chicken tenders or whatever, then we're gonna have chicken tenders that we're gonna have in our deep fryer, and then we'll have we have two that are not gluten-free, and then we have our other ones that is a gluten-free fryer. It's specifically gluten-free. We also have a toaster. It's a gluten-free toaster. So we have those items, but once again, we need to have you list those so that we know about those, so we can properly take care of your child while they're at Miss Shindo. So that's my part of the presentation. That is my dog and pony show. But like I said, if there are any questions, I would be more than happy to do my best to try to answer those at this time. If it's not specifically for me, I can also always hand the microphone over to one of the teachers. Wow, okay, I'm not gonna be able to get out the door. I'm gonna be like, wow, I'm really that good that I covered everything? Okay. Really? Wow, okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Like they said, I'm gonna head back to camp. I might even get it back in time to do a song at the campfire, who knows? But thank you guys very much for coming out, and we hope to see your children at camp. Thank you.
All right, good evening, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mrs. Gibson. I teach 5th grade at Heritage, and I am one of the teachers who is organizing and putting camp together for our students. And then I'm here with Mrs. Goyette, who is also a 5th grade teacher, and we will be working together to give you all the information you need for camp. All right, so I think one of the most important things parents always want to know is, when is my student going to camp? So we are having 2 traveling sessions this year. The first session is March 3rd through 5th. And in this group, we will have Mrs. Anderson, Mrs. Bendez, Mrs. Blaney, Mr. Burnham, Mrs. Etienne, myself, and Mrs. Kelly. And then our second traveling session is April 28th through April 30th, and that will have Miss Baird, Mrs. Goyette, Miss Harmon, Miss Lauren, and Mrs. Reynolds. So, as you are deciding, should my student go to camp, we will be talking about registration deadlines for our students, payment deadlines a little bit later on, but please take note of when your student will be attending camp. And please take note of the registration deadlines that we are providing. It is imperative that the registration deadline is met because this ensures that we can keep these groupings and don't have to try to reorganize anything.
All right, yes, a lot of this you saw on the video out there. It's about 250 forest acres there, which seems like a lot, but literally we've been here a few times. It's about a 3 to 5 minute walk in anything that the kids do. It's a beautiful place. There is a large lake. I believe their lake is about 25 acres. We will talk about activities. One of them, a little peak, is a zip line, and it has to do with that lake, and it's really cool. We'll talk about that. But the locations and facilities, it's the perfect place to explore nature, learn about the outdoors, tie it to our curriculum, things like ecosystems that we talk about during the year.
Alrighty. So at camp, students get the privilege to stay in these wonderful modern cabins. And by modern, they have heat, they have electricity, they have air conditioning if needed, they have the bunk beds. There are 2 sets of cabins that we're gonna stay in. We will be staying in the Hickory Hills cabins and the Pine Ridge cabins. What's really nice is that they are grouped together. So the Hickory Hills cabins are grouped together, the Pine Ridge cabins are grouped together, so students are not just going to be spread out all amongst the property, they're going to be in these tight-knit groups, which will help everybody keep an eye on where students are at all times. With that being said, here is just another close-up of the individual bathroom and shower stalls. So students always ask, well, where am I supposed to go to the bathroom? Where do I shower? They don't have to go to an outhouse. They don't have to travel anywhere else but their cabin. There are multiple restrooms, multiple showers, and we always talk with students before we go to camp about taking a shower in the evening or the morning, especially ladies with really long hair, things like that.
So I have to say, as somebody who's gone to the previous camp for a few years and then going to this camp, it is like night and day. Do we have any parents out here that have students that went to our previous camp? Oh, okay. We want to talk about the meals here, and I want to say this is one of the reasons why we went with this camp. It's almost like I felt like the cafeteria was more like a college cafeteria where you walk in, multiple choices of different kinds of foods and what you want. You can eat as much as you want. There's no portion control or anything like that. They don't want the kids to waste. So when he talked about, like, if you want a bunch of donut holes, you'll go get 2 at a time. Once you've eaten those, you can go, do you still want more? Okay, you can go get 2 more, that type of a thing. When it comes to this facility, we've had issues in the past where ensuring things like students that with celiac disease, can we handle their dietary needs? This is another reason specifically we have chosen this camp. They are very aware of a lot of the allergies, food allergies when it comes to that, and we just need that information from you when you get those forms to fill that out and do that. We want to accommodate your different food allergies, medical needs when it comes to food, that type of thing. However, we don't accommodate things like my child doesn't like macaroni and cheese. My kid doesn't eat chicken nuggets. I will say that's the difference between this camp and our previous camp, where before the menu might have been like, here's what we're having for dinner, it's chicken nuggets, here's the side, here's this, and that's it. What we find here is a lot of times there are multiple different things, or the main meal is a taco bar, and but there's usually a lot of extra sides, there's a salad bar, there's other things that the kids can usually find to eat. I will say, talk to your child about their, what they like to eat and everything. We've had kids that like, oh, I don't like that, but they get to camp, they're with their friends and everything. You'd be surprised at how much all of a sudden they decide that they want to try, and all of a sudden they like it, and they find enough to eat. But again, we though want to know your things like, is your child a vegetarian? Do you have gluten allergy? Those kind of things. Yes, they are important, but we can't accommodate food preference type of things. In addition here with the food, there is always plenty of food for everybody. Please make sure that you also, if you have any concerns, we can answer these questions and everything between now and camp. We will start contacting you when you're filling out those paperwork. If you have any questions about it, please just let us know or contact us and we'll help you. But definitely, again, like they said in the video, don't send your kids with extra snacks and things like that. We will talk to parents. We usually ask for snacks because we do occasionally give them a snack during the day, once or twice during the day, just because they are so active in moving and going from breakfast until lunch with all the activity. We'll do some snacks, and we will, again, think about allergies. We always cover those and everything, but don't pack any extra food or snacks. Has to do with critters, and also we don't want any issues with sharing food and having some allergies pop up. The program, this is another reason why I selected this camp. The programs that they are offering us are so well tied to a lot of our curriculum items that we're talking about. We as teachers are excited that with every activity we do, they're providing us the learning targets for the kids, and they're really experienced in tying what they are learning in the classroom to what they are learning. And it's not just, for example, ecosystems. We work on other skills with your child throughout the year, social emotional skills. We do a lot of social emotional learning, and that's going to happen at camp too. How do we get along? How do we communicate? How do we work as a team to accomplish different things? So we have, right? So these are our tentative selections that we have made. We are picking some nature-based programs. The first one is Aquatic Life. If you've had a 5th grader before that went to our previous camp, this was a popular one there too, and they have it. So they will be exploring creatures and things in the pond, learning about the pond ecosystem and everything too.
Thank you for your patience. Oh no, it's you. Still me. Okay. Reptiles. Here. There we go. This one is another one, reptiles and amphibians. We love this. You know, it was maybe one of the drawbacks. Our last camp did actually have a kind of a small zoo type setting where the kids could see the animals in cages, local animals, deer, foxes, and this. We do not have that at this camp. But they still have animals and that interaction happening with reptiles, amphibians. Even Miss Gibson here can tell you, when we went to go visit, she was asked, would you like to try? And she was told, we've got some pictures of her, was it boa? Ball python, yes. But again, just like he said, all of it was by choice. She was a little squeamish about it, but she went ahead and tried it and everything, and it's all by choice. But they will get the chance for some interactive with reptiles and amphibians. All right, yeah, so those are just 2 of our tentative program options for you. The next one is something that would be new, even if they went to Howell, they didn't have this one. Exploring some rocks and minerals, which is covering some different standards that they may see a little bit later on in their educational career, but exploring how to classify rocks and minerals, looking at fossils that are around our natural landscape. So it gives students a chance to kind of get out and explore the area around the camp, as well as go into that nature center and look at some preserved fossilized plants and animal species. The next one is also a new one. You saw this maybe in the video with the big tarantula, but one of the other options that students have is creepy critters. So we're looking at classifying insects. What is an insect? Students will get a chance to not only observe some living and preserved insects, but we'll also have the opportunity to touch some. Again, challenge by choice. If you would like to touch those, I held a snake, but I will not touch an insect. Some other options. So these are a lot of our tentative nature-based programs that we have chosen this time around, just to kind of give you an idea of some of the things that they will be doing at camp. Again, on all of these slides, you can see objectives there, so everything is tied with our curriculum and Michigan state standards.
All right, and here are our adventure-based ones, and I will say this is probably one of the favorites for the kids when they go to camp. I love seeing students that, again, it's all adventure by choice, but with their teacher participating, the rest of their class participating, kids get very brave, and all of a sudden they accomplish and reach a goal and do things that they never thought they could. If you have a student that went on the zip line last year, they think it's great and it's fun, but literally the pond we went across last time, I think, is probably about from here to maybe a little bit farther than the back of the thing. Now, if you look at that right there, that is their 25-acre pond that the zip goes across a good portion of it. So the zip adventure this year is going to be even better. I am super excited for that one. I can't wait for, that's gonna be my favorite activity. Archery has also always been a favorite. We've done it previously, so we made sure to pick this one again. I think I even have one of my students in the audience that is really super excited about that, right? Again, like we talked about, a lot of the programs are tied to our educational targets and learning targets, but also tied to a lot of our social emotional work that we're doing. And there is a lot of team building activities. It's great to see what a classroom looks like before they go to camp and then when they come back from camp. A lot of these activities that they do, they have to work together, different groupings. We work on communication skills and everything for them to be able to do this. So the team building ones are really fun to see them work on it. There's some new ones that we are excited about, nothing that we had at the previous camp. We're looking at this one. It was a giant Tinker Toy structure, putting together some things like that. So that's even some STEM involved in that. So we're excited to look at that.
And of course, when they go to camp, they are bringing home memories to last a lifetime. Of course, the pictures on their disposable cameras that they will bring back to you, they will not throw away. They're gonna bring home just their memories of with their friends, but they also will get the opportunity to actually bring home a piece of camp with them, because one of the activities that we will do is creating this t-shirt. Mrs. Goyette and I both have it on. That is part of their camp experience, so they will teach them how to tie-dye properly. They'll talk about fabrics and textiles, so it's not just tie-dyeing a shirt, like there is learning objectives that go along with it as well, but they will get to bring that home to you. And the camp actually washes the shirts before they come home, before the students wear them, so that's already done for you. And if you chaperone, you actually get a shirt for free. So that's a little perk for you as well.
I know previously if you've gone before, previously if you've gone, sometime we've had where you could order shirts ahead of time or something like that. We will not have that this time because the shirts will be included as part of their experience and they'll all come home with this shirt. They'll all get one.
Yeah, and another nice thing with this shirt too is that we do not have to collect any t-shirt sizes ahead of time. So when your students get to camp, there's already sizes there for everybody. They have an abundance of every size, so they will find the perfect fit for your students, so you don't have to worry about sending that information with everything else that you're already sending us. So that is just kind of a look at the different programs that we are going to be offering when our students travel to camp. Before we turn it over to talk about registration, we have a couple more things. The first one is homesickness. So sometimes going to 5th grade camp is the first time that your student is spending time away from you. Maybe they've gone to, a grandparent's house before, another family member, but they have not gone somewhere else with someone who is not family. So what we like to say is if they can make it through that first night, they will be okay. They're there with their friends, they have all of the teachers and chaperones to help support them. It has rarely been a problem that a student feels like they would like to go home. If for some reason they are feeling really homesick, again, they're not going to have their own electronic devices with them, no smartwatches, no cell phones, but all of the staff will, teachers, chaperones. We will reach out to you in some way. A lot of times we might send you an email and say, hey, you might get a phone call in a little bit. Let's try to be positive and encourage them to stay at camp, because if they can just make it through tonight, they will be fine. But really encouraging this time to bond with their peers away from you. As we know, in middle school, they will be going on some farther trips, and so we want to make sure that they're set up for success for that. And then the last thing, 2 more things before we turn it over. One is emergencies. As Bear mentioned, emergencies do happen, but just like here at school, you will have a number to contact at the camp. You can always send one of the teachers an email, call the office at Heritage if it's during the day, and they will reach out to us, and we can reach out to your student if necessary. If it's at night, there will be some sort of an evening number that you will be able to call and contact in the event of emergency in that situation.
All right, And I think real quick before we go to this, to add on to the homesickness, some of my kids ask me about that. What if we don't go, if we don't want to go, or anything like that? One thing I expressed with my kids today, in the years that I've been doing this, I have never had a kid regret going to camp. I have had kids regret not going to camp. However, we did talk about, we will have deadlines, and we will talk about that. It's a decision that needs to be made now in this part of the year, and I know we aren't going until the spring. There's a possibility to back out, but there won't be a possibility to add you back in. Because of how we are doing it with the cabins and setting all of that stuff up, the deadline is the deadline. So think about that, talk about that if your kid is undecided about it or anything, because I will tell you, as the spring rolls around, all of these kids start talking about camp. And they start to get super excited about it. And if your child changes their mind at that point, it's too late. We can't take them. So that's why we want to make sure that you know way ahead of time. And again, I've not had a kid regret going to camp. They have regretted missing it. When they come back, and they come back to their classroom, and the whole class is talking about everything that they've been doing for those 3 days, and they weren't a part of that. One of my students asked me today about, well, what if I have a basketball game while I'm at camp or whatever? I usually say you will have more basketball games, you will not have another 5th grade camp. So again, it's always the top kind of memory that they take with them from 5th grade and being at Heritage. So really, if your child is undecided, have that good conversation with them. We're there to support them, the homesickness and everything. They won't regret going. So last part is chaperoning. If you're interested in chaperoning, we want to take you. There is a limited number of spots, but generally, in the past few years, we've been struggling sometimes to get you. I'm hoping that this brand new camp, which is even better as a chaperone. Has anybody chaperoned before? Okay. Did you, Howell Nature Center? Howell? Oh. This one's gonna be night and day compared to that, okay? So let's get you back, okay? If the things that if you would decide that you would like to chaperone, you are responsible for things like accounting for the kids, ensuring that they arrive on time, getting them to bed in the evening, keeping them focused, to listen to directions when we're doing activities, and everything. What you're not going to be responsible for is discipline. If you were having difficulties with students listening to you or listening or whatever, it'll be a quick phone call, let us know. We will help you with that. We will take care of that, okay? Students come first for all the activities, but if time allows, parents can participate. I know we do try to, but we do have a time constraint. So things like rock climbing and zip lining, sometimes those activities, just the nature of all the safety equipment and the harnesses and everything, can run a little bit. They take up more time, so we might not be able to get all the parents through to be able to try something like that. Kids come first, and then if there is time, though, usually you can participate in a lot of these activities too. We've been asked, well, what if, I'm a mom and my son wants me to chaperone? Opposite gender is fine. You will not be bunking with your child if it's opposite gender. You will be traveling with them, doing the activities with them, eating with them, and everything, but the bunking is all in the same gender. And this time you will have time to relax and have a break from kids. The new schedule that we have gotten, they will actually take the kids, so even as a parent, a lot of times these kids are with you pretty much almost 24/7, but now you will get a break. They have built it into the schedule that we never had before, where their camp counselors will be responsible, and they will add more counselors to the group, and they will take them away to give you a break. At least once or twice a day? At least once, I think, about 45 minutes to an hour to give you a break, because we know that's important too. And so you can have that thing. Lastly, we want to say, if you cannot commit to having eyes on all the kids almost all of the time, then this may not be the volunteer opportunity for you. Yes, you are going with your child, but we need you to be eyes on all of the children that is in your group and responsible for them all of the time. There's not time to be, separated or just visiting with your child or things like that. If that's what you're thinking, this is probably not the volunteer opportunity for you. But it is fun. We've had a lot of parents do it. They have some great memories with it too, and I think you will. The food will be better this time. You'll get a little bit of a break. The accommodations are good, air conditioning, heating, all of that kind of stuff. It is a lot of fun. I hope you will volunteer and make some memories with your kids.
All right, and so with that being said, we're going to turn it over to Lori Dawson, who is going to give us all of the information on forms, payment, registration, all the fun stuff.
Okay, so, yeah, this is all the fun logistic stuff. So, first of all, the camp information, this is new to Heritage website. We just got this added on, I guess it's only Monday, yesterday. So you go to the 5th grade, to the Heritage School page, and then up where it says activities and clubs, that's where the 5th grade camp, so the fundraising stuff is on there now. We'll add the presentation, we'll add that YouTube video that you watched tonight as well, and then we'll be adding everything else there. It will be coming to you in an email, but if you're like, I don't remember, I want to show, my student the video again or whatever, it's all there. It will always be on that website. So November 1st, we extended the fundraiser because we switched camps. We wanted to make sure that we were able to answer questions. So the fundraiser does end this Friday. It's that shopfund.com that came home a while ago. That information again is on the website if you have questions. We also have a direct donation link that you can send out. We're going to leave that open for a little while, that you can send that link to friends, family, whoever. They can $10, $50, whatever they want to do. Some people prefer to do that versus buy fundraising things. So that link is on, again, that page, but that will come out in the email as well. So you'll have all of this information. So registration dates, the student camp costs, I did have a couple people email kind of early on when we were just switching over, and the student price is much lower than it was for Howell. So it's $185 for students, and the chaperone cost is $100. So tomorrow is the magic day for all things. So we kept the dates the same. Everything opens tomorrow. Everything will close on December 6th. And I'll go through the additional pieces. But I can't stress enough, December 6th is it. That's when registration closes, that's when the scholarship application closes, that's when the chaperone all of those things will close on December 6th. We cannot take registrations after that. We have to get chaperones lined up and things set before we go on winter break. And then after winter break, that's when they're gonna finish doing all of their work. But my side of it is we need to have this information done and set before we go on break. So the payments, again, you can pay the $185 if you register your student right away, and I'll just pay the $185. You can do that. You don't have to make payments. You can pay the $185 and be done. If not, there's a $50 deposit that holds your student's spot for camp. That's what's due by December 6th. So after December 6th, I will be sending out an email. Everything will be coming from that heritage.camp@Saline Schools email. The link to make payments, additional payments if you need it. Your fundraising credit, your direct donation credit, all of that stuff, I will send that to you to say you still owe, $47 or whatever it might be. But that will all come to you after the December 6th deadline. If necessary, additional statements will be emailed to everybody by January 31st because that final payment is due February 7th. And that is the hard deadline, again, because we leave for camp, that first set of camp shortly thereafter. So the payment deadlines for everything will be February 7th. You can, if you register your student and then before winter break, you're like, it's not gonna work. You can get 100% refund before winter break. Once we come back from break, we can't do any more refunds again because we're starting to set all of those wheels in motion with the camp and the staff doing the additional work that they need to do. So again, I picked static dates so there was no confusion. So chaperone sign up opens up tomorrow. That will come out in an email. If you're interested, you can sign up there. Deadline for that is December 6th. Chaperones will be notified before winter break. We'll know, again, because registration will have closed, we'll know how many students are going, and that will be based on how many chaperones we can take. If an entire class goes, obviously it's more. If there's 5 or 6 students in a class that's not going, there might be a few less chaperones. Scholarship application, that opens up tomorrow. And the deadline to submit is December 6th. If you have any kind of financial assistance that might be needed, fill out the application. We don't want cost to be a barrier for kids to experience this camp. So again, that will be in the email, closes on December 6th. All of that's gonna come from the heritage.camp@salineschools.org email. And that's where you're gonna ask most of the questions. Obviously, if it's a specific something for your student's teacher, please email the teachers. That's not an issue. If it's a camp, if it's talking about, you have questions about scholarships or the chaperone piece or payments or any of that, please reach out to this email because I'm the one that's managing all of those pieces for the camp, the logistics and the finance piece. So any questions for any of us about even stuff that Bear covered, anything at all? Yeah?
In the video, it talks about chaperones having to go the day before the students arrive. Is that the case or not for this?
That is not the case. He did let us know that if you are chosen as a chaperone, there's 2 videos that they will send. He hasn't sent the links with us yet, and then you just sign off that you watched them, the videos themselves. That's what it is to cover, I'm sure it's about safety and just responsibility at camp based off of so you do not have to go early, but there are videos that you will have to watch.
And then do we ride with the students or do we drive ourselves?
You drive yourself.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can you just clear up for me, sorry, I went kind of quick, about the fundraiser? Like, we still have to give the $50 deposit before we know what the fundraiser covers? For like, the fundraiser that we've been doing,
Yep.
that helps cover the cost of the camp, right?
Yes, so if you raised, $160 or whatever, or you have funds, yes, that can be used. You still have to fill out the registration. It's just basic emergency contact, student name, because that's gonna hold their seat.
Right, but do we still have to pay the $50 deposit?
If you would,
Will it tell you that?
Do what, sorry?
Would it tell you that? Like, I don't know, I'm sorry, I'm just confused. Like, do we have to pay the
$50
deposit before the fundraiser?
What if you raise 200?
Yeah.
Right, then you do not have to. Yes, so but it's 40% of what you raised.
Right.
Okay, yep. Yeah, so you don't have to, so there's a drop down for that in that registration for, I don't remember what it says, something about fundraising. I don't remember what the drop down is. It's I'm gonna pay in full, I'm gonna pay the $50 deposit, a scholarship was requested, then there's something, I don't remember what the fundraiser balance to be applied or something like that.
Okay.
It's in that drop down on the registration piece, yeah.
Okay, I just didn't know if we had to pay the $50 deposit before we find out how much we actually got for the fundraiser kind of thing.
Yeah, and I should have that report,
Next.
I'm hoping within 2 weeks
Okay.
of this Friday. They're usually pretty quick, so I'll reach out to families though to let everyone know what you have, and then you can go from there.
Right, okay, cool. The other question is, which probably won't apply to me, but if the child chooses not to go to camp, do they go to school those days with like other groups, other classrooms, or do they stay home?
It is your choice. It is counted as an unexcused absence if they stay home. If they do come to school, and teachers will reach out to you when we start to figure out who's going and not going. We usually reach out to you ahead of time to ask, is your student going to be coming to school, or is your student not going to be coming to school? If they're coming to school, they will be placed into another classroom for those days. And I've had other kids in my class, when we go at separate times, we have separate trips. So if your kids happen to go on the first batch and they're going to stay home, or they're going to go to school but not go to camp, they would be in one of those other teachers' classrooms that is not going to camp, and vice versa.
Okay, thank you.
Real quick, to also follow up, if you pay the $50 deposit and you have overpaid,
Yes.
we refund that difference.
Okay, that's
So if you
good.
end up paying, $210 for a $185 camp, you get that difference refunded back.
Okay, that's kind of what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah, sorry.
Didn't know the deadline.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, the student camp cost that's due on by December 6th. And then if you want, I understand that, and then if you want to chaperone, but you won't be notified until before winter break. So should we pay after December 6th for the chaperone, or?
Yeah, so the chaperone piece, we will, that closes, then we'll look at how many adults we need. It'll probably be opened to chaperones before winter break, but you'll have, probably till the end of January to make that chaperone payment. That will be after that deadline. It's just the student registration that is December 6th.
Okay, so no one will be paying for chaperone before December 6th. It will all be after.
Correct.
The students have to be. Okay.
Yeah.
Just make sure you turn in your chaperone survey by December 6th if you want to be considered.
Right, and I think I want to clarify too, your full payment of camp is not actually due by December 6th. It's just that $50 deposit. You can, if you know, definitely you can make a full payment, but just the minimum of the 50 is by December 6th. The whole payment does not need to be. There is that payment plan that you could end up splitting it out and finish up by the end of February, right? Beginning of
February 7th, yeah.
February 7th to finish paying for the rest of it.
Yeah. What's the chaperone to student ratio?
It's about 8 students for every chaperone. Typically what we do is, in each of the cabins, we have 2 chaperones. So there's usually somewhere between 14 and 17 students, just based on past numbers of students attending and not attending. And there will be 2 chaperones in that cabin with you. It won't just be 1 chaperone and 15 kids.
Yeah.
Can parents come, I can't commit to chaperone for the full 2 nights, 3 days. Can parents come just during the daytime at all? No.
Yeah, I think because of the camp criteria as well, I think they need to be there for the day and the night element of it, yeah. Any other questions? Did you have a question? Yeah?
So, can my mom already pay for it tomorrow, or do you have to pay it in December?
Nope, the deadline is in December. It opens up tomorrow. So anytime between tomorrow and December 6th. Yep.
Back.
It will be similar to 9-ish in the morning departure, so we're at camp by around 10:30. And then we'll be back in Saline by 2, again, approximate times. We have to work around lunch coming home and those pieces, so we don't know exact times yet.
Sorry, just to add on to that one, once we know who's registered for camp and who's attending, like, we will send you information about what time the luggage needs to be dropped off, where the luggage should go. So usually in the past, it's Liberty School, somewhere between like 8 and 8:30 in the morning. We'll send you the departure time, we'll send you the return time for your student, and we will also send a packing list too that is more specific to the time frame that you're going and to this specific camp, so it would be a little bit different from Howell. But that will all come out once we start getting those registration numbers in after that December 6th deadline.
Also for when the day that we return, we get back to Heritage at approximately 2 o'clock. That is the end of the day. So it is a pick up and go home. We do not have that opportunity to keep your student there till the end of the day. Your student with luggage and things like that, they can't be riding the bus home and things like that. So you need to pick them up at 2 o'clock. The teachers are leaving. We are there until your student is picked up, but your student, you do need to make arrangements that on our return day on that Wednesday, somebody is available at 2 o'clock to come to the school and pick them up.
I want to add too about any of the medication. I know Bear said that their process is the morning of. We will have our own deadlines to send them in the week before camp departure. Karen Hervey and myself will still go through and vet all of the medications so that everything is set for us to send it to camp. So that's a difference from before. We used to collect it the morning of. We will not be doing it like that this year. We will be doing it the week before. Again, you're going to get that in the email. Processes are the same. We put the things in the Ziploc with the student's name, has to be in the original prescription bottle. There's a process to it, but that is going to be different. We have our own kind of set of vetting of all of that before we send it off to camp. So, any other questions? Oh yeah.
If for some reason you did have scheduling conflicts with the week that your kid is going, could they go the other week? No?
Okay.
And who's interested in chaperoning? Yes.
All right. Yeah.
One other question about medication. If your child has medication already at school, like my kid has an EpiPen, will you guys be bringing that medication from school with you, or do I need to provide another set?
I do the district class trips, so we can certainly take the one from school as the backup, but we do recommend that you send one that they have on them, so that the EpiPen that we have at school is going to be the backup for the trip, just for safety reasons, then they can carry that with them when they go out in the wilderness. All right, so if there's any other questions, you obviously can reach out to classroom teachers or send an email to the heritage.camp throughout the day tomorrow. That email will be coming out. I'll be updating the website as well. There's supposed to be some edits to the website. I think that's been bumped to next week, so I think I can get everything on before it shuts down for the edit. So, but it'll be coming out in an email. Thank you very much for coming. Hope to see a lot of you at camp.